Hi, Alex. Welcome back.
Hi, Ashley.
So, how are you doing right now in this very moment?
I'm doing pretty good. Quite a bit less stressed than I was last time we met. I think Thanksgiving break away from school definitely helped me.
Okay, tell me more about that.
I was just home. I mean, we had the whole week off from school this week, so I went home and hung out with my family and relaxed a bit. It helped me de-stress a little bit.
So, it sounds like overall you had a pretty relaxing, stress-free week.
Yep, it wasn't a whole lot to worry about. Just hung out with my family and saw my friends and didn't have to worry about school too much.
Good. And what would you say would be the best experience that you had this past week?
Best experience would be watching the Cowboys beat the Raiders on Thanksgiving with my family.
Sounds like your team did pretty well too.
Yep.
Awesome. So last week, if you recall, we made some weekly goals. I'll refresh your memory. We had to buy a planner on Saturday, fill out big events and homework assignments, due dates, put them in your planner once you buy your planner on Saturday, and then research stress reduction techniques on Sunday. I can show you the list to remind you if you'd like to pick one of those three goals to discuss about first.
We'll just start from the top. I did buy the planner this past week. I know we wrote down on Saturday and I missed that. I didn't buy it until Monday, which is fine. It wasn't something that was on too much of a deadline. But I bought the planner on Monday, and then throughout this last week I spent time filling in when all my homework and things like that were due. Since it's towards the end of the semester, there wasn't a whole lot on there, but I did still find time to fill in like when my finals are and any papers I have upcoming, things like that.
So it sounds like pretty much successful when looking at both of those goals. If you were to put a percentage on them, what would you give them?
I would still say like between an 8 and a 9. I bought the planner obviously and all that got taken care of. I wrote down all my assignments. But like I said, I bought it on I think Monday instead of Saturday, which we had written down. And obviously when I set a goal of Saturday, I missed that. So while I got it done and the deadline wasn't too important, I still missed the deadline that I put for myself.
Mm-hmm. But even though you might not have gotten the right time, you still overcame that obstacle and you still got your goal, reached your goal, got it done.
Yep.
And then the second goal, what would you give for percent on that one?
I'd say probably about a 9. That's one that's kind of going to be a work in progress as far as filling out events in the planner. I already went through and filled out all my final times and when my next papers are due, but obviously a lot of this stuff is assigned in class, and so that's going to have to be taken day by day where I fill it out based on what I'm given.
Yeah, well, it sounds like pretty successful looking at those two.
Mm-hmm.
The third one, the researching relaxation techniques. What do you think about that goal?
Yeah, we had written down that I was going to try and research some stress reduction techniques and methods. Unfortunately, I didn't get that done at all.
Okay.
I know we said I was going to get it done Sunday, but with the break, I kind of put off school and then in turn kind of forgot to do the research I was supposed to for this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'd give it a 0 out of 10, I guess, since I didn't get it done.
Sounds like something that we can maybe work on again for next week.
Yep, just an ongoing goal, I guess.
Yeah. So I guess when looking at that one, what were the obstacles that kind of got in the way?
I think it's the same obstacles that we discussed when talking about school, where this is the reason I bought the planner, is once I think about it, I tell myself I'll do it this Sunday, but I didn't have that written down anywhere, and I eventually just forgot to do it. And once Monday or Tuesday rolls around, it's completely out of my mind, and I just didn't end up doing it this week.
So it sounds like overall you accomplished 2 of them pretty well. Maybe not so much the last one, but something you want to work on and try to figure out in the future maybe.
Yep, I definitely said we could put that for a future goal. I mean, it's something I'm still interested in. Unfortunately, I just didn't get it done this week.
So if I could have permission, we could talk about that goal now.
Sure.
If you would like. What has worked for you in the past when looking at stress reduction techniques?
I think the biggest thing for me has been I like to go to the gym when I can and go work out. And just unfortunately with as busy as I have been this past semester with work and school, I haven't found a lot of time to get out to the gym and work out at all.
Mm-hmm. Is that something you'd be willing to talk about a little bit later in our session?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, you can keep that one in mind. I would also like to look at your 3-month goals, which are also written right below. The first one was to study at least 2 hours, 5 days a week, and then also to find a stress technique that really works for you and you feel comfortable using when you need it. Any changes you would like to make? Are you still pretty solid on those?
No, I think they're both good. Obviously, I haven't really been able to do a lot of it this past week with Thanksgiving and everything. There wasn't a whole lot of time to get that done. But the 2 hour studying, I think, will definitely help a lot to relieve stress. We talk about how the number one cause for stress for me is due to schoolwork and I guess lack of free time due to school and work together.
Mm-hmm.
But I think dedicating those 2 hours a day for 5 days a week will definitely help alleviate that stress,
Mm-hmm.
just due to the fact that I'll be able to be more on top of everything. And then as far as the stress reduction technique that I can use, I haven't really found anything yet since I wasn't able to research it this last month. But as you said, possibly about working out, we might be able to maybe write some goals down for that and see.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have anything for that yet.
Awesome. Well, we can definitely talk about that. So it sounds like you're pretty confident in your 3-month goals and would like to stick with those. And
Yeah, I think they're good goals, and so long as I can find something to reduce my stress, then it'd be a good step forward.
Well, if you would like to work on talk about working out, or if that's something you're interested in talking about, if I could have permission.
Sure.
So you said you would be interested, or in the past it's worked for you to go to the gym, maybe alleviate some stress that way. Why don't you tell me more about that?
I guess I like going to the gym for the same reason a lot of people do. Obviously, it makes you feel good getting the endorphins going and everything. But I also like to go because it gets your mind off of whatever else you're dealing with at the time. Lifting weights or running or whatever we're doing, it clears your mind and you're not thinking about school or what you have to do next, but you're really just kind of in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good way to kind of blow off some of that steam.
Yeah, I totally agree. And overall, have you noticed working out giving any less stress or anything like that? Or
Oh, I definitely think it helps. As far as the amount, it definitely at least breaks it up. I mean, I could go to the gym super stressed and get done, and at the very least I'll have my mind clear and be able to, I suppose, focus better on what the next task at hand is. So I definitely think it does help alleviate some of the stress.
So it sounds like on one hand you really enjoy going to the gym, really helps with your stress levels, but on the other hand you feel like you're too busy, and when you're too concerned about schoolwork you don't really have a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. It's on one hand it helps me relieve the stress because I'm there and that's what I like to do. But on the other hand, it doesn't necessarily build to it, but it's stressful to even find time to go because I'm devoting so much time to school and to my job.
Yeah. So is there any way you'd like to tie that into your goals from last week, do you think? Or
I definitely think that we have the monthly goal, obviously, of finding something to help reduce stress, and the weekly goal is to research a method to reduce stress. And I think that, at least for me personally, that working out definitely helps reduce the stress. So I'd still like to, going forward, research other methods, because I think there's other ways that would help that might not take as much time as going to the gym. But I think that as far as a long-term goal, I think that we could tie in going to the gym, definitely.
And is there something that worked for you better in the past when going to the gym that's has become an obstacle now? Or how did it work for you in the past? Why it's not working as well now?
I think the biggest obstacle would be I used to have much more free time between school and work. This is my first semester going to school full-time, and so I do find quite a bit of trouble working my schedule to where I can have enough free time to get out to the gym. But I think that we could definitely write down and try and maybe schedule times where I can go and get out there, even if it's for just a little while.
Yeah, so it sounds like you really want to get back into working out and maybe finding a better way to manage your time.
Yeah,
in the long run.
Yeah, I love working out, and that's the big thing is it's time management. It's hard to figure out when you can squeeze everything into one day.
Sounds good. Would you like to brainstorm some ideas on how to maybe working out or the gym into your schedule?
Sure.
So what we can do is we can go every other, and I'll write down the ideas we come up with. Doesn't matter what they are, they can be crazy. And then I'll have you look over the list and pick out any that stand out to you. You think you can do them. If that's okay with you.
Sure.
Awesome. I can go first. I'm going to to plan out times in your day where you're going to go to the gym and write them down. So if they're written down, you know you have to go.
Okay. I'm going to say scheduling a certain workout for a certain day. So maybe work on arms on Monday, chest Tuesday, so on and so forth.
Okay. How about finding a buddy and doing a buddy system?
I think adding like a minimum, I don't know if this will really go along well, but a minimum times per week allowed to work out. So say 5 times minimum per week. That means that I'm giving myself those 2 days that I can skip, but I have to go 5.
Okay. I'm going to put buying a pedometer.
Are you buying the pedometer or am I?
We'll rent one out.
I don't know if I have any more ideas.
Okay, well, if you'd like to take a look over that list and see if any jump out to you.
I think the first 2 and the 4th one, so writing down and planning when I'm going was good. Scheduling what workouts, and then what was the 4th one?
The minimum amount.
Minimum amount per week to make sure I get there.
It sounds like you're really interested in doing this and really working on those 3 things jump out to you. It sounds like you could really make them work. Which is awesome. Would you like to create a goal maybe around these for next week?
Sure, I think that'd be good.